says that eating extreme budget meals have to be dull and boring. Today I'm going to be cooking 4 delicious meals, all for under $10. These types of meals come in handy, especially if you are struggling to afford groceries these days. Y'all, these grocery prices are really getting out of hand. But that's a conversation for another day. So anyway, let's get into this video. The first meal that I'm going to be cooking is red beans and rice. Take a look. These are all of the ingredients that I'll be using for the red beans and rice. Now, if you don't have all of these spices in your kitchen already, you can totally get away with using just salt and pepper. If you watch any of my grocery hauls, I always mention what I'm doing with the food that I buy. And I always say that I'm going to chop and freeze my celery and bell pepper for future recipes. Well, this is one of the recipes that I use those frozen bell peppers and celery for. I really should have thawed the vegetables out before cooking, but I was pressed for time. Whenever I cook on my lunch break, I always feel like I'm on that show Chopped. I have to get it all done in 30 minutes. So right now I'm just reintroducing my vegetables to the pot and cooking them in the juice left behind by the sausage. It gives it that added flavor. Again, if you don't have these spices in your cabinet, plain old salt and pepper will do the trick. While my beans are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my rice. I always use chicken stock when the recipe calls for water. I also washed my rice several times before placing it in the rice cooker. Y'all, I was so happy to use that parsley out of my garden. I mean, just to be able to eat the fruits of my labor, that's just a whole other feeling, y'all. You just don't know. Gardening takes a lot of patience, and I grew that parsley from seed, so it's been growing for a couple of months now. So how much did the red beans and rice really cost? I got all of my ingredients from Walmart. The 4 cans of beans were 86 cents each, and that's a total of $3.44. The Eckrich sausage was $3.46. Altogether, I spent a total of $6.90 out of pocket for the red beans and rice. And this is for 5 people, y'all. This is one meal, and this one meal is going to last 2 days. Now, we don't typically eat red beans. When I cook red beans and rice, we don't eat it the next day. What I do is we're going to eat whatever we're going to eat that day, and whatever is left over, I freeze it for the next week. That way, that's one less meal I have to cook the next week. So yeah, that's why I love cooking red beans and rice, because it produced enough food for my family of 5 to eat for 2 weeks. So if you take that $6.90 and divide it by 5, you will get a total of $1.38 per person. Where are you going to find a meal for one person for $1.38 that's going to feed them 2 meals? Where are you going to find that at? Y'all, you just cannot beat home cooking. Now, the next meal that I'm going to cook is French bread pizza. So let's take a look. The ingredients are so minimal for this recipe, and this is something that is quick and easy to make. I promise, if your kids love any kind of pizza, they will love this homemade French bread pizza recipe. When it comes to buttering this bread, be very generous. You want that garlicky butter flavor to come through. And if you have Italian herbs, you can use those too. I actually ran out of them, but you can mix them directly into the butter, or you can sprinkle it directly onto the bread after you butter it. Now, after I buttered the bread, I placed it in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. So while that's cooking, I'm going to grate the mozzarella cheese. The bread is out of the oven, and now I'm going to add marinara sauce. You can use marinara, spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, even barbecue sauce. When cooking these budget meals, try to get creative with it. Y'all, we love lots of cheese on our pizzas, so I'm being very generous with it. The kids love pepperoni pizzas, and hubby and I love all of the meat and veggies on ours. Whenever I cook this for just the 2 of us, I always add bell peppers, red peppers, onions, mushrooms, black olives. You know, the typical ingredients for a supreme pizza. But when I'm cooking for the kids, I just do cheese and pepperoni. Y'all, that pizza was so good. It did not last 10 minutes after I cooked it. I mean, my family ate it up. It was so good. If all 5 of us is eating the pizza, I will slice it into smaller slices. That way everybody will get more of the pizza. Now, if it's just the kids eating this pizza, then I will slice bigger slices so that they can eat all that they want. So how much did this French bread pizza cost me out of pocket? The pepperoni was $2.49 at Aldi. And the French bread was $1 at Walmart, y'all. A whole $1 at Walmart. Now, the marinara sauce and the mozzarella cheese I already had on hand, so I did not factor that into my final price. But if you want to know how much it would cost with all of the ingredients, if you get the blocked cheese at Aldi, that's $1.77. And the marinara sauce at Aldi is $1.59. So my total out of pocket for this French bread pizza was $3.49, y'all, for a family of 5. $3.49. Where do they do that at? That you cannot beat that price at all. One large pepperoni pizza at Pizza Hut is between $13 and $15, y'all. I just cooked a pizza for 5 people for $3.49. Now, if I had to go out and buy everything from scratch using all of the ingredients that you saw, my total out of pocket would have been $6.85. Still not bad for a family of 5 for a pizza that's gonna feed them all day. Y'all, the beauty of these budget meals is to take what you already have and just go out and buy things that you don't have that you need to complete that recipe. That way you're not spending all of this extra money buying everything from scratch. You're already using things that you already have at your house. Now, y'all, this next recipe is good with the T. It was so good. And this is not something I was raised on eating. This is not something that I would even have thought to cook, but I saw this recipe and I was like, let me give it a try. I mean, I'm not gonna knock it until I try it. And I tried it, and everybody in the house loves this recipe. So take a look at the next recipe. It is stir fry and ramen. And this recipe is pretty straightforward. When I tell y'all this stuff is so good, my kids have literally been asking for this every day. But did y'all see that egg? Now, we're not fans of cracking the egg and letting the yolk run all over the food. That's just not for us. We do not eat it. My kids don't even eat it when I cook hard-boiled eggs. So yeah, they are not fans of that yolk. I'm not either. So I know a lot of people say, oh, it's creamy, it's good. That's a no for me, dog. I like mine hard boiled, and it was still good when I cooked that hard boiled egg. If you are pressed for time, this is the recipe for you, because it did not take long to cook at all. And you really season to taste. I only use 2 of those ramen noodle packets because y'all know how salty those things are. And soy sauce, y'all know how salty soy sauce is. So I got the low sodium. And what y'all didn't see is I added a little more soy sauce to the meal because it was 1 teaspoon was just not enough. So I seasoned and poured that soy sauce to taste. I did not want my stuff to be overly salty. If that's a thing, I didn't want it to have too much salt in it, is what I'm trying to say. It was perfect. So what you do is you season it to your taste buds. So how much did this meal cost me out of pocket? Well, the ramen noodles were 30 cents each, and I got 3 packets, which totaled 90 cents. And I got all of them from Walmart. The broccoli stir fry was also from Walmart. And if you saw my last grocery haul or the grocery haul before that one, then you saw the stir fry in there. But the stir fry was $2.54. And I already had soy sauce and eggs at home, so I did not include that in my total because that is one of the 2 of the ingredients that I already had on hand. Altogether, I spent a total of $3.44 for this recipe, y'all. $3.44. Where they do that at? It fed all 5 of us all day, and it had us full. It had vegetables. I got vegetables in my kids. It was delicious. It was good. If you are broke and down to your last penny, this is the recipe for you, because this $3.44 fed all 5 of us all day. Now, the last thing that I'm cooking is this breakfast recipe. And this is something that I like to cook on Sundays and prepare it for the week ahead. I prepare it, cook it, and then I put it in the freezer. That way, when my family wants breakfast and I don't feel like cooking, they can just go in the freezer and grab a breakfast biscuit sandwich. So let's take a look at how I make my breakfast biscuit sandwiches. The ingredients you'll need for this is eggs, biscuits, sausage, butter, and cheese. Before I start, I'm going to preheat my oven according to the instructions on the back of the biscuit can. I'm from the South, so keeping bacon grease on hand is a must. I want my sausage to have that bacony flavor. The breakfast sausage biscuit recipe is so easy and it's pretty straightforward. Your family's gonna love it. If they eat this at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, wherever you go to get a breakfast biscuit sandwich, you can pretty much make your own sandwich at home for way cheaper than what you would get at the fast food restaurants. So how much did this biscuit sandwich cost me out of pocket? The biscuits were $1.85 and the sausage was $3.48 at Walmart. But I could have saved more coins by getting it at Aldi because it was $2.45 there. Now the cheese was $1.59 and you probably saw that in my previous grocery haul, and the eggs I already had on hand, so I did not include that in my final price. So my total out of pocket for 8 biscuit sandwiches was $6.92. Y'all, $6.92 for 8 biscuit sandwiches. Now, if I were to get the Jimmy Dean version of these biscuit sandwiches at Walmart, the 8 count cost $10.97. So I'm saving $4.05 by making them homemade. Y'all see how we can save money by doing this stuff ourselves? This goes to show how much they charge for convenience. I hope you all enjoyed these budget recipes. Let me know down in the comment section, what budget meals are y'all cooking? Let me know. Like, if you have the recipe, feel free to leave the recipe so that I can give it a try, because we are all in this struggle bus together. This too shall pass. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.